Hello. So on behalf of HKUST, welcome to today's talk. So my name is Eng Version. I'm the professor and head of Division of Integrated System and Design. Today we're going to introduce recently new programs of HKUST. It's called Integrated System and Design. It's a new way of nurturing new generation of innovators and technologists. As everyone knows, today's the world is facing a lot of grand challenges, like recently COVID-19 and other grand challenge problems like global warming, energy issues, clean waters. So all this type of new challenge in the world is facing need a lot of new disruptive ideas in order to solve all these grand challenges. And in order to solve these big problems, so we no longer can just rely on one type of expertise to solve this problem for that. So we need new generation of innovators that can integrate discipline from knowledge from very different disciplines, and also using a human-centered mindset to build new system to solve this very complex societal problem for that. Traditional engineering educations or other education may not be able to nurture this new type of innovators and technologies because it needs to actually have a way to work with a multidisciplinary area and also have a human-centered mindset for them. So if you look at, nowadays the new technologies and innovators like this slide shows some examples like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and also Frank Wang. So who are the innovators or inventors of some new device or new system that changed the whole world, like the communications, like the new way of mobilities, and also the drone that actually take a lot of good pictures of that solve a lot of real-world problems for that. So all these type of new technologies and innovators have a special attributes for that. So now that's a few attributes that we need to come and nurture these technology innovators. Like for examples, they need to be thinking independently and analytically with a growth mindset. Very importantly, they need to understand the world with empathy and also some insight observations. They have to look at the problem from the human angle, from the user angle, instead of from technology, purely from a technology angle for that. At the same time, they have to have global visions, and also a very important part is how to identify the problems, okay? How to understand the user, how to understand the requirements of the world, and then coming up with the right problem to solve. So at the same time, they need to be actually technology oriented. So it's not just coming of idea, but you have to actually do it, generate new, really practical solutions with those technology innovations for that. So one very important part is that all these new systems and devices and they solve the real problem that need to use a lot of different type of knowledge, that not only one single type of expert can do it, but they need to actually integrate different discipline, different knowledge with a human-centered mindset to do this. So in order to nurture or educate this new generation of technology innovators, we need to have a new program for them. Because of that, so HKUST is putting a lot of resources on how to coming up with new program, coming up with new way, new pedagogies to change this new type of technology innovator for them. Yeah. So this is the mission and visions of creating this new divisions called Division of Integrated System Design. So this division is one of the newest division that created HKUST. So it just created like 2 years ago. Yeah. So the mission is actually to advance learning and knowledge through active learning and transdisciplinary research in integrated system design. And also to provide differentiated learning opportunity for different types of talents. We know that actually everybody have their own talents and then can nurture or can with different aspiration and different way of learning for that. So here we try to use a different way of teaching and different way of new pedagogies to try to explore the potential of the students. So in our visions of this division, the program, the education program is to try to use the new way of project-based experiential learnings in the design education for that. So one important parameters or one important aspect of this division program is that so we want to nurture the innovators that not only for full technology training, but also for design mindset and also system thinking, at the same time with entrepreneurship spirit for that. With that, we introduced the first undergraduate program that focused on integrated system and design. Now, first, we want to look at what is integrated system and why we want to target at integrated system for that. So, as we discussed in the first few slides, so the world is actually facing a very, very difficult challenge for that. In order to solve these challenges, so we need to design systems, not only point products, but a very complex system that including many, many different components and also different subsystems together in order to solve the problem for that. Here are some examples. For example, robotic systems that are very actually widely used right now, and we expect it in the next 10 and 20 years. So robotic system will be widely used in different aspects, not only in manufacturing, but also expanded to medicals, education, and all different aspects of the world. So this type of robotic system actually including a lot of new technologies, not only mechanical, electronic, but also including like the software, AI, materials, all this type of different technologies we need to use to integrate such kind of complex integrated systems. Another two examples are healthcare systems. Okay, healthcare systems is a big system. Not only is just a physical system, but involving like multiple subsystems all over long distance places to actually make it work together. At the same time, so smart cities is another examples. So all these integrated systems actually require, so not only one discipline, but multidiscipline work together, but actually not working separately, independently, but they have to integrate together in order to work to coming up with the right solution to solve the right problems. So in this program, in the divisions, we focus on how to design these integrated systems in order to solve the real-world problem for that. Because of that, so we need actually different type of knowledge and also skills and also mindset to tackle these integrated systems. First, of course, including technology competence. So because a lot of these systems are involving a lot of advanced or state-of-the-art technologies in order to build it. So our students or the innovators have to have the technology competence in order to solve this problem for them. But that's not enough. So because we're not focusing on a single component that actually for the technologies, but we need to integrate all these components together to solve the real-world problem. We're not actually providing a technologies. We're providing a solution to solve the problem. So one important part is that so the innovators or these sort of technologies need to have the design mindset or system thinking. They need to understand the user requirements. They need to work with the user. They need to think from the user point of view. So we call it empathize. Okay. So the design and system thinking is a very important part of the skill set and also the mindset that the new generation of innovators and technologies have to work for that. This next part is the entrepreneurship spirit. So entrepreneurship spirit is not only just for starting a business, but most important part is that actually you dare to try. You're not afraid to fail for that. So this is a very important part of the mindset. So these three components actually form the major part of how to design for integrated systems. Because of that, so I want to talk a little bit more on the design thinking process for that. Yeah, the design thinking process is a very important part for the innovators or technologists to how to coming up with the right solutions or right method or device to solve the real-world problem for that. So we go through these 5 steps. Empathize. So empathize is a very important part. So it's very different from the traditional technology educations. Technology educations, we just focus on the point technologies. We just focus on how to do it and how to make it. But we do not know actually whether the technology we develop is actually really suitable or whether it can help to solve the problem that the target user is facing for that. So for the design thinking process, we need to first empathize. So that means you identify your group of users, talk to them, understand what they need, and then coming up with the problem you want to solve. Define what kind of problems actually the user is facing, and you try to identify the problems. Okay, from that you have ideations that generate different solutions to solve the problem for that. So one important part for the design thinking process and for actually the innovator of this integrated system design is prototyping and testing. So we should not stopping at the idea only, but we need to actually make the real prototype to demonstrate the idea. So without a prototype, okay, you not know how practical your idea is. So whether actually your idea can be really realized for that. So therefore, we go for prototype test phases and also testing. Testing is actually testing whether your prototype can really solve the problem. So a lot of times, the prototype cannot really solve the problem or cannot fulfill the situation. Then you need to iterate, go back to the problem definitions, ideation, prototype testing. For that, we go through multiple iterations until you get the right solution or right design in order to solve the problem. So this is whole design thinking process. So with that, we coming up with this new bachelor program target for educating and nurturing this type of new generation of technology innovators for the future. For that, we start the first. The program is launched in 2018, so we have 2 cohort of students already. So this is the first experiential learning degree program in Hong Kong. So we focus on active learning, project-based, and also multidisciplinary training for them. So the student not only follow a fixed curriculum, so the student will participate in designing a curriculum to decide what to learn and how to learn. One very important part of this is because we are not just, it's a project-based learning pedagogy, so therefore we have a very low student to faculty ratios. So HKUST have put a lot of resources on that. So the number of faculty, the number of students is quite low. So right now the student to faculty ratio in this year is 4:1. So that means every 4 students we have one faculty to take care about the learning. So as we said, so the design for integrated systems have including 3 components here: technical competence, system and design thinking, and also entrepreneurship part for that. So to design a program to cater for the need to training this type of new generation of innovators, so we focus on a few things. Okay, the core of our program have 3 parts. One part is project-based learning. I will talk about a little bit more on the project-based learning later. The second part is a learner-centric pedagogies. The third part is an individualized curriculum for that. Yeah, I'll go through all this a little bit details in later for that. So with that, we want the student after the program acquire these 6 components of skill set and also mindset for that. First is the technical competence. Second is the design thinking. Third is the interpersonal skill. A very important part is that, so as we said before, the new generations of system design need to involving a large team that composed of this different discipline skill set people working together. So we have to work as a team together. So therefore, interpersonal skill is a very important part, and also the teamwork is a very important part of the education attribute for that. And the fifth part is the hands-on prototype skill. So it's a very important part of this program. So we want the students not only learn through, you're doing examination paper, you're writing paper for that. No, not only that, but you really need to actually make the things out. You really need to make the prototype out in order to verify your idea. The last part is the entrepreneurial spirit. We talk about that. So we want to train the students to actually coming out with very innovative idea, disruptive idea, not afraid to fail. Okay, even your thing is not working, but you're going through that mindset. It's not working. We come back to do it again, and again, and finally with success. Now, so for the 3 part, the project-based learning, the learner-centric pedagogies, and individualized curriculum is like this. Our program is what we call project-based learning. So every year, we need to do a project, group projects. It's a team project. Every team is composed of different skill set of people. So different expert on different area for that. So they needed to deliver a project, a prototype that try to solve a problem for that. So through the project execution, you learn the skill, you learn the knowledge, so you learn the techniques in order to finish your project. So therefore, your curriculum is more like individualized. So every student in the project participate in the project have a different role. So they need different type of skill set for that. I will give you some example later. So therefore, for every student, we tailor-made individualized curriculum for that. So different students may take different courses because they are taking different role in the project for that. So with that, we also actually doing a lot of active learning. So the students need to not only learn through the class, but actually learn through outside the class. They need to actively learning through like using different means like the internet resources for that. So with that, the faculty will work closely with the student. So therefore, it's like a learner-centric pedagogy for that. So our curriculum is actually involving a lot of like a project-related courses and also project surrounding the project for that. So we have a group design project every year. So every year we work on different group design projects that actually not only focus on the technologies, but also focus on the teamwork for that. So this project is not just a toy project. Usually we work with industry, coming up with the project title or topics that actually have a real practical applications for that. So we work with the industry partner a lot in defining these projects. So also, as I said before, we have an individualized curriculum. Depends on the role of the students that work on the projects. We tailor-made a curriculum for them. We select the right courses for the student to work on in order to acquire the knowledge to finish the projects. At the same time, we encourage the student to participate in the industry. So we have a lot of industry internship opportunities. The student can work with the company in the summers and also in the fall, and work on practical projects like that. At the same time, we encourage the student to participate in a lot of co-curricular activities, including the overseas exchange. So we have a special partner that actually collaborate with us for such special exchange program. At the same time, a lot of our students are participating in different types of competitions, including design competitions, including case competitions, including actual prototype competitions. Here I would talk a little more on the study patterns of the 4-year program for that. So it's different from the School of Engineering school-based admissions. So we actually have a program-based admissions. We take students from the first year, and the first 2 years, apart from the Universal Common Core, that including language and also other common courses. So we focus on more like courses related to design fundamentals to teach the student with the basic design technique and also prototyping technique for that. So these are the courses the student need to take at the first 1 or 2 years, including like a human-centered design, and what is design and what designs, digital prototypings, physical prototypings, and also system thinking and design thinking for that. So with that, we want the student to acquire the basic design skill set and also the design thinking mindset in order for them to, in order to prepare them to do the projects in the 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year for that. Starting from the, so this is some of the first year design project courses. The student learn how to actually really applying some design technique or prototyping technique to design different things and then try the design mindset for that. So for example, this actually show examples in the first year courses. We have design thinking courses. So this slide shows actually the student how to create some portable dormitory, okay, for the student for HKUST. So they are not only coming with idea, but they need to do a prototyping for that. So here we can see some innovative idea, the student coming up with different prototyping. So for example, some students can see a foldable tent that you can actually, as a mobile and also it's a portable, you can actually move to it anywhere that you become a tent. That the student can use it as a dorm room for that. Yeah, so that's another design project course that actually the target user is the elderly. So we design for elderly care. So we, for this course, we bring the student to the elderly home, talk to the user, talk to the elderly, and see what their needs are, and then coming up with different ideas, and then coming up with different prototypes to solve their problem for that. Yeah, for the first 2 years, we're looking at the design fundamentals and also technology fundamentals. So besides the design courses, we also the student need to take some fundamental technology courses like computer programming, math, some basic engineering skill for that. And starting from 2nd year, and then every year we will do some actually group project for that. For example, so this year, year 2, we do the topics or the area we're looking at is assistive technology for elderly for that. So we don't dictate the topic. The student will actually looking at the need of the elderly and coming out with different solutions to solve their problem for that. So to work on this type of projects, so usually we have a team of students, and every student will work on different area for that. For example, so for the assistive technology for elderly, we have 4 to 5 students as a group. So one student will be working on the programming, on the software. The other student will be working on the electronic control. The first student will be working on the material design and mechatronic design and also academic design. So every student have their own role play in the project. And based on their need and also based on the interest, we'll actually design the curriculum. Every student will take different set of courses in order to acquire the knowledge they need to fulfill in the project. Another example, year three, we are working on smart mobility. So at the same time, so therefore, with different students, we require to play a different role for that. Some will be working on software, some will be working on the driving mechanisms, electronic controls, the energy source, and also the mechanical structure for that. So with their role on that, so we'll pick a set of courses for them to learn the skill and also the knowledge in order to fulfill their project for them. Yeah, so this is some example for this year, the EAT project. So there's two projects here. The first project, the project is the elderly lift project. So that's actually this machine is helping the elderly to stand up. Some elderly do not have the strength to stand up. So that's why we help them to lift up their body for that. The other is a smart massage board and for the elderly rehabilitation for that. So for that, so they're starting from talking to the elderly, understand what they need, coming up with the problem, generate solutions, working on prototype, and then test it. So that's go through the whole design thinking process in the whole year for that. We talk about the curriculums, what we want our students to work on. So what type of student we are talking for? We're talking for not the traditional student, just good in academic. Of course, the good solid foundation is important, but in addition to that, we're looking for students that are self-motivated. They're eager to learn, they're eager to ask. They're very curious on how the thing works for them. And also the student have to be an active learner and a maker. As I said before, so the student need to do the prototype, not just solving equations, not just writing paper, but they need to make the prototype up. So therefore, we want the student to be a good maker for that. And also the student need to be active learners. In order to be active learner, they have to be passionate about the technology development and eager to be the technology leader and innovators. So that's the target student we're looking for. Now, then a lot of students will ask, so about what's the admission criteria for that? So in order to seek for our target students, so we have to use a different way of looking at assess student for that. Yeah, in addition to the academic result, so we want to look to see the student whether they're suitable for this program, whether they are actually, so they have a biggest potentials, whether they are active learner or not. Okay, so therefore, in order to assess the students, so in addition to the examination result, we also have other components we will consider. So the assessment admission criteria will have three components in it. The first component is what we call the design and technology project experience. So we want the student have some experience before and then show that they are the right type of student that we're looking for. So therefore, if you want to enroll in this program, so you need to actually submit some what we call design and technology project experience to summarize what you have done in your high school, and then show the potential you can be the good makers and good active learners for that. And also, teamwork is very important. Interpersonal skill, communication skill, how actually you can work with others is another important part of the attributes for the student we are looking for. So therefore, we, aside from the technology project experience, we also hold practical interview. And then this practical interviews is a group interviews that involving like a lot of design activities. For these activities, we assess the students, the creative thinking, and also the bigger potential, and very important part is the teamwork and collaboration for that. So this is the two components, and in addition to the final one is which is the public examination result. So this we were looking at the composite assessment criteria, including these three components together. So this is some facility of the program. HKSU has put a lot of resources and then give us a lot of space and also resources. This is the first year design studios. Most of the class of the first year student design classes will be done in this design studio. It's an open area. So when we have class, it's not only a teaching lecture, it's an interactive environment for that. It's like a studio. You come here to learn, to work, and then communicate with the professors and also communicate with the classmates together. And year 2, year 3, year 4, we work on projects. We have a large project space that actually is about 500 meter square space inside, so you can see there's actually a lot of machine, a lot of equipment, and then you will go there to work whenever you want for that. So this is we have a state-of-the-art facility equipment. You just renovated this year, and then you can house like 90 students working on the project at the same time for that. So these ISD faculties, right now we have like 11 faculties, so this is not the updated one. But we are growing, the faculty is still growing. Also, the faculty is coming up from different disciplines, different engineering disciplines, and also from design discipline also. So the learning mode is very different from other traditional way of teaching in high school and universities. So we seldom use just class lectures. Okay, even the lectures we actually do in the design studio, it is doing in a more interactive mode for that. The faculty is like a mentors. You work with the faculty will work with the students together in the class and also in the projects. And the student will work as a group, very close. They learn from each other and also from the faculties. Not only for the textbook, but really full interactions for that. So if you're interested in this program, you can actually go to our website to looking for more information for that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send email to us or call us or using any means that can reach us to get more information about that. So this concludes my talk. I hope I can see you sometimes later at HKUST. Thank you. Bye-bye.